Stand up, President. Mayor Ruling, I believe you're in attendance also. Please stand. There he is. Thank you very much for attending. Oh my gosh, Nancy, I'm so sorry. Please stand. I would also like to thank our sponsors for tonight's event: Aspirus, Current Technologies, Domtar, Enders, Ho-Chunk Gateway, Yakuza, Heartland Farms, Northwind Renewable Energy, Solaris, Verso of Wisconsin Rapids, and Wasaki Family of Companies. I'd also like to introduce you to our Parks Wisconsin staff. Now, some of them may be present and some of them might be sorting out raffle tickets, but at this time, would Angel please stand up? Angel Whitehead is our president. Our vice president. Is Sharon in the room? No, but Sharon is, oh, maybe way in the back. Thank you, Sharon. Director of Finance and Operations. Heather Sayers. Heather is our Director of Membership. And Steph Schmid, who is working the PowerPoint presentation right now and having just a little technical difficulty, is our Director of Marketing. And I would like to welcome Angel to the stage to introduce the board. Thank you.
As many of you know, an organization such as a chamber cannot thrive without its volunteers. These volunteers are the heart and soul of our organization. At this time, I'd like to introduce our 2018 Board of Directors. Please stand and be recognized. Chairperson, Nan Taylor from Aspirus. Vice Chairperson, Heather Gigi, USA. Governance Chairperson, Alex Hewitt from Nashville Group. Our Secretary, Joan Bukowski from Bauernfein Business Technology, Phil Hartley, Verso Corporation. John Sonnenberg, Tom Brown. Jill Steckbauer, Michigan Technical College Foundation. Nate Weidman, Next Home Partners. We'd like to thank you for all your dedication to our organization. At this time, I'd also like to ask Nan, Pete, and Joan to come up. They are our outgoing board members, and we would like to thank them extremely for all their years of service. If you give them a round of applause, please. We would also like to welcome our new board members. Ken Anderson, Boys and Girls Club of Wisconsin Rapids area. Craig Bernstein, Mid-State Technical College. Bridget Sheraton, Six Valley Resort. Jill Dillon, Marshfield Clinic. Janine Malcolm, Mary Kay Cosmetics. John Troyes, I knew I was going to say it wrong. M3 Insurance. And Lisa Skiba from Aspirus. I'd like to invite Krista Kuhn up to introduce our keynote speaker for this evening. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And while we were doing this, I had wrote the script and I missed. I want to make sure anyone else that's elected official, if you could please stand. We want to give you a round of applause too. Thank you for your time that you spent working for us. So I apologize. We had it all working earlier and always technology and you don't so long. So Carl Brick is our keynote speaker from Quick Trip. Carl is a leadership development specialist, and he grew up in Alaska, Wisconsin, and then attended UW-Platteville. After graduation, he was a substitute teacher in La Crosse area before jumping in his own middle school classroom for 5 years. In 2015, after an invitation, he decided to jump into the family business and played a large role in Quick Trip's email and text programs for a year. In 2016, he moved into the public relations department. There he provides a quick look at Quick Trip to various community groups and has an opportunity to train many of the new store leaders. His other duties at Quick Trip, including overseeing of the AV department, being the third-generation spokesman, and other ownership responsibilities. Outside of Quick Trip, Carl serves on a parochial school board, a STEM advisory committee for a local high school, and on the Driven to Achieve Foundation Advisory Board. Carl and his wife, Emily, reside outside of La Crosse, Wisconsin, with their 3 children, 10, 8, and 6. One day I heard there's a birthday. In his spare time, Carl enjoys just about any outdoor activity with his kids, especially time on the river log boat. Would you please welcome up Carl Brick from Quick Trip.
Well, good evening. Thank you. Get everything set here. Well, thanks for having me tonight. Thanks for including us in your wonderful community and area. I know we have 4 stores that currently serve the greater Rapids area and beyond into the surrounding communities. And really a number of things they asked me to talk about, and I hope to hit all those bases as we get on through the slides tonight. If you've got questions, I'll be happy to answer them at the end. At the end of the night. I will be around for the entire evening, so feel free to find me afterwards. Otherwise, I'll have email and stuff up there as well towards the end of the presentation. But my goal is to keep us on time as we go. As she mentioned, I taught middle school, and I was at a small parochial middle school, so I'm used to talking for 7 hours at a time, not a half an hour. So we want to get you out of here before that. First thing up is growth. We've grown significantly in the going on 54 years that we've been around. Our first store was actually in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. We opened that in 1965. It was a product of really the Gateway grocery distribution company. In the mid-60s there, you had grocery stores getting bigger and bigger, and the goal was they saw this concept called 7-Eleven down in Texas. And to bring back that neighborhood market concept. In fact, we didn't even have fuel until store number 7, which was in the La Crosse market at that time. And you can see our growth from there. We had 100 stores in 86. In 2000, we were at 300 stores. And roughly today, let's just try to generalize a little bit. You see 645 there on the screen. And really, we're at 665 as we grow and growing. Our goal for the next 5 years is 40 to 50 stores a year. And we believe that we can service roughly 2,000 stores out of our corporate campus and production facilities in La Crosse. So lots of growth in our future. And with that are the name brands that we operate under. You know us as Quick Trip in this area. Throughout Wisconsin and Minnesota, it's Quick Trip. The district leader for the tobacco outlet plus groceries actually resides right outside Wisconsin Rapids. He oversees about 22 stores throughout Wisconsin for that bottom label there. We have 45 stores actually going under the tobacco outlet plus grocery or tobacco outlet plus banner. Something that we developed about 15 years ago as tobacco was going away. Still a very important customer to us, and we want to be able to serve them to the fullest. And then if you go to the west a little ways and cross the other major river in the state, you get to Iowa, and that's our Quick Start. Quick Trip, spelled a little more correctly, QT, with Quick Trip with a Q, based out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. They were there first. They still have about 30 stores in the Iowa market. So in 1993, we switched from Quick Trip to Quick Start, because you couldn't see the difference between Quick Trip and Quick Trip on the radio advertisements. The whole time we have been a privately owned company. It started out with 3 partners in the early 60s there. And then the last partner was bought out by the Zitlow family in the year 2000, and we've remained privately held by the Zitlow family, and our goal is to be privately held for the years to come. It's much nicer to report to the family and be able to take the long-term view instead of going after quarterly reports. So when we sit down as a family and we talk about 20, 30, 40, and 50-year growth plans, we don't worry about what the next statement's going to bring to us. And what you see here on this slide on the bottom left-hand side there, Grandma, Grandpa, Don, my wife's grandfather is 84 years old, still our CEO, still puts me to shame and with his work ethic. He's probably in the office 60 to 70 hours a week. He just loves what he's doing. As long as you love what you're doing and you're capable of doing it, why would you want to do anything else? And so I do have the great privilege in my role in public relations to be his chauffeur, so to speak, as we go to different events like this. He still goes to every single ribbon cutting, and with 50 ribbon cuttings a year, I get about 15 to 20,000 miles of windshield time with him. I kind of like the joke, it's the fastest, most specialized MBA program that you can possibly have in Quick Trip, because he's done it all. And then on the right-hand side there's 14 grandchildren. We're well positioned for the future. 95% of the company is currently owned by the grandchildren, so that when the inevitable does happen with Don and Levon, we don't get hit with inheritance taxes and everything else, and we'd have to be forced to sell the company. And so the four of us on the left side, or right side of your screen there are the fourth and third generation that work day to day within Quick Trip. You start with Paula there. She has a background in nursing. She currently helps to oversee our wellness and benefit plans through our human resources department. Behind her there, her husband Kevin. He works in our food research and development area. Works a lot with our own in-house products. On the front there, Mark. Mark is the oldest grandson. He's been with the company about 7 years now, works in our real estate department. And then, of course, my AV people I oversee try to hide me in back. I've been with the company, as you heard, about going on 4 years now. I really have found a home for myself in public relations as you get to talk to people face to face and not through a computer like I was doing in social media. Really, for us, it comes down to three things. And you see them here: people, food, and vertical integration. And really, you can cut out the last two. If there's one thing I hear more than anything else is when I'm in the car with Don, it's, Carl, it's a really, really simple concept. If we as ownership take care of the coworkers, and we've got a few coworkers right now, they'll take care of the guests. And our guests are our customers, but we think of them as guests as somebody that we want to extend hospitality to in our own homes. So we will try to view you as a guest when you come into our stores. But if we take care of the coworkers, they'll take care of the guests. And as long as those two things happen, Quick Trip will be successful long, long into the future. And then from there you get down to the food. You know, for a long time, C-stores were Cokes and smokes. And as the smokes go away, and now in many cities, you find sugar taxes and things like that, the Cokes are going to go away. What's going to happen? So in 2003, we rolled out our hot food program. We had the groceries, we had the commodities for a long time previous to that. We rolled out the hot food program. We're currently testing chicken in our newest store in West Salem, a fried chicken program. And we've definitely dove back into the commodities in recent years with rolling out our fresh meat case that we have. Then finally, the last piece is our vertical integration. That's really what separates us from our competition in the C-store industry. Very firm belief that if we can do it ourselves, number one, we control the quality, and we can deliver a higher quality product than our competition. And number two, we can take costs out of the system. And of course, we can then pass those costs on to you, our guests. A little quick look at what we do on a day-to-day basis or week-to-week basis, really, for many of these numbers. We're about 7 million guests each week throughout our 665 stores in the 3 states that we operate in. We're slow this time of year. The snow definitely puts a hamper on things. But this summer, nearly every week of the summer, we're running roughly 8 million guests a week throughout the store. You see there are 230 hot beverages a day, 125 cold beverages a day per store. The milk and juice products, 270 units per store per day. And then at the bottom there, our fastest growing category, that fresh case that you see when you walk in the stores with the salads and the sandwiches and the fruits and the fresh cut vegetables. We have about 235 units per store per day out of that single case. And really it all boils down to this. It really goes back to our people and our mission. There's been a lot of research out there that says that the difference between successful companies and companies that perform well generationally are companies that have a firm mission statement, and it's not just a motto on the wall. It's something that coworkers know and believe in. And so our mission at Quick Trip to serve our customers and community more effectively than anyone else by treating our coworkers, our customers, coworkers, and suppliers as we personally would like to be treated. And then the last line there we added about 10 years ago, to make a difference in someone's life. And it might sound corny, but it really is our firm belief that by selling fuel and food, we can be that difference when everybody else is shut down because there's a foot of snow on the ground, or we're the only place that's open 24/7 in many of the smaller communities that we serve. And so we train this mission statement very thoroughly. If you're at any of our meetings throughout the company, it doesn't matter if it's a new coworker orientation or the vice president sitting down on Monday and Friday mornings, you start with the mission statement because that's what we're here for. And of course with that, as long as you take care of the people, going back to Don's point, we have a place for you. We're currently at roughly 23,000 coworkers throughout the stores, a little over 2,000 coworkers at our production and support center up in over in La Crosse, I should say. And we have a role. I look at my own personal experience when I was dating my wife. And in college, I worked at our store in Platteville, Wisconsin. And at that store, at that time, there was 30 coworkers. And as you can imagine, in a town with 5,000 people and 6,000 college students, most of us were college students. And we all started as this is a part-time gig until I move on to my career for whatever it was we were going to school. It was, and of course, in my case, it was education. But of the 22 of us that were part-time college kids almost 15 years ago, 9 of us are still with Quick Trip today. We grew into Quick Trip grew into us, and we had a variety of things to choose from. I work, when I'm not out educating the general public, I'm educating our store leaders. We have inventory auditors. We have people working in store engineering. We have a district leader out of that group that I work with as a part-time college student. And it's wonderful opportunities, not just for a job today, but career and personal growth tomorrow as well. And a lot of that happens because of that vertical integration philosophy. That we're going to do it, and we're going to do whatever we can to do it better ourselves. And so roughly 80% of the products that you see in our stores come out of our distribution center in La Crosse, Wisconsin. And many of those products we make ourselves. In fact, the picture on the right-hand side, we actually have a blow mold machine in our dairy. We make our own 1-gallon milk jugs. Number one, we can take a couple pennies of milk jug out of the equation. And when you're making 8 milk jugs every 8 seconds, 23 and a half hours a day, the pennies add up, and we can pass that savings on to you. Number two, it's kind of the right thing to do. When you're shipping milk cartons from a milk carton supplier, essentially you're shipping air. There's not much to, there's 64 grams of resin in a milk container, and most of that semi-trailer is loaded with air. And if you're in the shipping industry at all, you know how hard it is to get loads delivered right now. And so why not bring an entire truckload of resin to La Crosse? Paying the driver the same, we're paying the same delivery fee, but we can get a couple thousand or 10,000 milk jugs out of that resin rather than shipping air to our facilities in La Crosse. So if we believe that we can do it better, we're going to give it a shot. Some things stick, some things don't. The things that have stuck through the years, number one is our bakery facilities. In fact, we now have 2 bakery facilities. Our first bakery facility opened in the early 1980s, and after rounds and rounds of expansion, we finally split into 2 facilities roughly 2 months ago. We now have a 200,000 square foot sweet goods facility, so that's all the stuff that you probably shouldn't eat, but we all enjoy eating, the cookies, the bagels, the muffins, all that type of stuff, and we roll about 3.5 million units a week through that facility. Our newest bakery facility, we spent $114 million, and we just opened the second line on a bread and bun facility. And again, it's geared for growth. We're currently only operating at about 25% capacity. But we will search the world over to find the biggest and the best that we could put in that facility, so we're ready for the years to come for growth. I would be hard pressed, according to our suppliers, and maybe they're just because of our suppliers, they want to impress us, but they've told us you will not find a better bakery in the country for about a year until somebody else builds one, and you can probably search the world over and find the same thing. We've got robots picking our products. It's all continuous mix on our bread and bun lines. It's really quite an impressive facility. Our oldest facilities are dairy. We opened a dairy in Caledonia, Minnesota in 1983, moved it to La Crosse in the late 80s. We currently process about 800,000 pounds of milk a day. When we're running our peak, if we're running a milk special, we're probably processing about 1 million pounds of milk a day. Or to put that a little perspective on that, probably about 25 trailer loads of milk. We work with 2 different cooperatives to purchase that milk, one in Minnesota and one in Iowa, and it comes from roughly 60 farmers that we get daily delivery from to get that product out to the store. So all of our milk, all of our ice cream is produced in that facility, and then we actually ship raw ingredients from other areas of the country, like our orange juice. So we ship concentrate from Florida and then remix it up in La Crosse. Again, it's easier to ship that way, and we believe that we can do it better and create a higher quality, more efficient, cost-efficient product for you, our guests. Our kitchens is our newest facility. It's also the facility that's growing the quickest because of the healthy options. We do all of our salads, our sandwiches, our cheese mountain pizzas, the burritos off the hot spot. We made about 7 million burritos last year. Our salads, we're running roughly 20,000 salads a night right now at La Crosse before they get shipped out to the stores each and every single day. And of course, all that product's got to get distributed. So we do have a warehouse in La Crosse, a distribution facility, about 400,000 square feet. All those products come through, and of course all of our products from our outside vendors or suppliers come through that facility. And the picture here is really what I guess you could say kind of broke the mold for us back in the early 90s, and that's our bananas. It actually came about through a deal with Hershey. Hershey supplied the tables, and they got the surrounding shelf space with their candy bars, and we were allowed to put bananas on top. And today, we sell a little over 480 pounds of bananas per store per day. Almost 1 million pounds a week. It's literally about 28 truckloads a week that we ship up from the Gulf of Mexico. They come from Central America on the banana boats. They come into the port in Houston, and we take ownership in Houston and ship them up. And really, the banana ripening room is the mass scale of that brown bag on your counter. When they come in, they're pretty solid. They're very green. And then we put them in there at about 70 degrees with 80% humidity and ripen them over 2 or 3 days to get to that green stage that you might see in your store, because we know some of you want to stop once a week and get a bunch of bananas and be able to eat them 3 or 4 days later. Or we leave them in the facilities for 5 or 6 days to get them to that yellow stage so you can have it on your way to work that morning. And really, like I said, well, that's what started the fruits and vegetables for us throughout the area. But at the end of the day, it comes down to your safety. And you see it in the news all the time. So in the last 5 years, you are 20 times more likely to have a food-related illness traced back to your company simply because of the advances in biotechnology. So we actually opened our own biology lab in La Crosse. We run almost 3,000 samples a week. We do product life testing. We test inbound ingredients before they ever get put into our products. We do statistical random sampling on our lettuce products. So when everybody else is out of lettuce because there's a problem somewhere in the country, and even the federal government doesn't know where it's at, we can say our lettuce is safe because we've tested it and we know that. When everybody else's salad numbers were dipping, ours were flat because we have a brand that people can trust, because we're going to take care of you. And Don will often tell us there's 2 things that could possibly hurt Quick Trip. Number 1, it's the decay in the culture, and number 2, it's foodborne illness. So we take our food safety very, very seriously throughout the area. And then, of course, to get that all to you, we deliver every day and every night. We run roughly 100 routes a day right now through Wisconsin on the overnights, and then 100 routes a day through the daytime hours through Minnesota and Iowa to service all of our stores. Our commercial fleet for all of our perishable and petroleum trucks combined is roughly 27 million miles a year that they run right now. Everything in the store that we can comes in through our own perishable fleet every single day, and we deliver about, 95% of our fuel to our stores as well. We look for 100% capacity at the slowest times of the year, and then we use jobbers to take that excess in the summer when things are moving quite quickly. And with that, our own fleet, we've looked for alternative fuels. If you think back, 5, 6, 7 years ago, diesel was pushing $4 a gallon. And again, looking to take costs out of the system, how do we do that? So we actually switched our fleet over to natural gas. We now have 36 stations throughout the tri-states that offer compressed natural gas. We run about 90% of our tractors on compressed natural gas. We'll probably never switch over 100% because we want to know what diesel's doing in our vehicles so we can see how our products we're selling are reacting. But most of our fleet is compressed natural gas. And it's been fantastic for us from a shipping standpoint because natural gas, since we switched about 6, 7 years ago, the price of natural gas has varied 20 cents. You think about that, how gasoline or diesel fluctuates based on what's happening halfway around the world. And it's incredibly easier for us to budget and forecast if we can forecast for 20 cents across 7, 8 years. On top of that, it's green. It's the right thing to do. You look at particulate emissions, you can run roughly 60 compressed natural gas tractors, or you can run 1 diesel tractor for the same particulate emissions. It costs us a little bit more up front, but when we're hot seating those tractors and then they're running 20 hours a day, the savings and simply being the right thing to do, they add up over time. A number of new initiatives for us as we roll out, because growth happens in 2 areas. Growth doesn't just happen in store count. Growth happens in what you're doing inside the store to increase your sales and your revenue as well. So we rolled out the fresh meat a number of years ago. We rolled out the Kruba Gold machines a few years ago. And our newest that we rolled out over the last month is that green guy on the right-hand side, the Fresh Blends machine. The first of its kind in the country, regardless of industry. It's a touchscreen smoothie machine. It's all 100% real fruit product that's coming out from the machine. So it's a healthier for your product. Now, of course, there's all the sugar in fruit. You guys still have to watch out for it. But it's all 100% fruit, and you can take your pick. And of course, it's the same machine that many of our competitors are using. But you guys all have smartphones. I think you guys know how to operate a touchscreen. So if you can do it yourselves, and we can take labor out of that, we can get that product to you at much cheaper than many of our competitors. But then, of course, I mentioned the store growth. So in 2018, these are our 10 new stores throughout Wisconsin. Our 2019 store growth, we really have filled out this central portion of the state. For you guys in 2019, your closest stores are probably going to be Weston or Prairie du Sac. But we've got 42 new stores going up in Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Iowa for 2019, and we've got 10 rebuilds slated as well. We still have room in our budget for about 6 or 7 acquisitions as they come available, 6 or 7 one-store acquisitions. But for Wisconsin, as you guys travel for work, we're getting new stores in North Hudson, Menominee, Stanley, Wausau, Weston I mentioned already, De Pere, Denmark, Grand Chute, Richfield, Prairie du Sac, West Allis, East Troy, and Pleasant Prairie. And you think about it, we still have a lot of growth to do, especially in central Wisconsin. You can drive from Portage to Stevens Point and not see a store. There's lots of other holes. We're not in the biggest cities in the state, so we still have room to grow within Wisconsin, let alone Minnesota or Iowa. And then, of course, you start thinking other states in the long term as well. As I mentioned initially, it comes down to our coworkers. And since 1989, so something Grandma and Grandpa established when they bought out one of the first business partners, is our 40% profit sharing program. So at the end of our fiscal year, which is at the end of this September, when the bean counters are all done, whatever we make that year, 40% goes to our coworkers. And they split it up based on their income throughout the year. So it's vice presidents are going to get more than hourly part-time retail coworkers. But this last year, everybody in the company got a 9.2% cash bonus. Everybody, top to bottom. And again, I think about my own experience. When I was a part-time college student, I don't remember what the percentage was, but my senior year as a college student, I got a $560 bonus 15 years ago. I bought Christmas presents, paid a couple months rent, and so on and so forth. But it's huge for our coworkers, and we pass those checks out throughout the months of November and December as we go out and have face-to-face meetings with all of our coworkers. We basically put on a road show and have 30 meetings over the course of 13 business days throughout the tri-states We have about 92% attendance ratings at those meetings. It's kind of a pep rally / business plan. And of course, at the end, you get your share of the profit sharing checks. From there, we do a lot of other things with our people. Number one that our coworkers talked about behind the 40% is our Families Helping Families program. It's its own 501c3 program. It's really a payroll deduction program. It's our coworkers taking care of our coworkers. So whether it's at 50 cents a paycheck or 20 bucks a paycheck, it goes into the pot. We have an advisory committee made up of coworkers, and when something happens to you, you can reach out. Or your supervisor can say, hey, this person can use some help. And you think about the flooding in Madison last summer, how few people have flood insurance, especially when you're not in a flood plain. And your homeowner's insurance doesn't cover that. And so we had cash in hand within a week for those people. And more importantly, for many of them, we had gift cards and cash to them within 24 hours in many cases. That they could get out and start buying the supplies they needed to clean out their basements and pump out their basements and things like that. Last year, we helped a little over 325 coworkers at an average spend of about $1,200 per coworker that received assistance from the program. Locally in your stores, those change jars that you see by the registers go to our Neighbors Helping Neighbors program. That money stays within your local district, so the 10 or 15 stores in this area. The store leaders, along with their district leader, decides where that money goes to help out their local communities. And then we do a lot within the communities as well. We work a lot with Feeding America and the other big food banks throughout the area. We sell a lot of food, and when you sell a lot of food, you're going to have some left over at the end of the day. And the dirty little secret about sell-by dates is there's no federal standard. There's no state standard. Sell-by dates are really there to protect the flavor of the product. And many times, if they're cared for, they're good, well beyond the dates, healthy and safety, well beyond the dates packaged on stamps. So we pull those products from our shelf, we stick them in the cooler of the freezer, and the food banks come and pick them up, and then they're distributed back out to those who really need it. Last year, we did a little over 2 million pounds that we donated back to our local food pantries that way. We work a lot with the environment, not just with our diesel or with our convenience transportation, our commercial fleet, but even in our stores. Whether it's the LED lighting, we were one of the first C-stores to convert to LED lighting in our coolers. Think about it. Everybody used to have incandescent lighting in their freezers. You're putting heat in a cool space. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So if you can put LEDs in those spaces, anything from the car washes. We filter all that water so you get a spot-free dry at the end, but that water is still clean. So that's the water we use for the undercarriage wash. And we work really hard to do different things like that along the way. And of course, your wellness, our guests. We rolled out bananas in '93. We signed up with the Partnership for Healthier America. Michelle Obama really led that charge when she was in office in the second term of her husband. But really, it's our promise to you and our promise with them that we're going to have healthy food and products available to you in your towns and your community. You think about a lot, especially the smaller municipalities that we serve, and we are the local grocery store. We are the local bakery. We are the local market in the middle of winter where you can't get those fruits and vegetables, and especially for populations that have a harder time walking larger grocery stores. My grandma gets most of her fruits and vegetables from her local Quick Trip because that's what she can walk. She can't walk a 100,000 square foot grocery store anymore. So we're signed up to do that. And really one of the last things we work with is our federal, state, and local emergency management. When natural disasters hit, they've identified 4 areas that you have to have now. Groceries. We have groceries in our stores. In many cases, we have backup plans to get generators on site within hours before that food in the cooler would spoil. Fuel. Obviously, we've got tanks in the ground at every store. And all of our stores reserve that bottom 500 gallons of a tank for local emergency management. And if the alarms go off, that tank's getting low, we'll actually cease fuel sales if we have to, if we don't know a truckload is coming immediately. So we reserve fuel for you guys. And finally, banking. The internet is down. At the end of the day, cash is king. So we've got the free ATM in the stores, and of course, we all have backup satellite connections in all of our stores. As long as we have electricity, we can run the ATMs and help out. The only thing we're missing is prescription drugs. And other people can help with that. We've looked into it, don't worry. But we're not quite there yet. Finally, again, tying back to the people work hard to work with the top workplaces. The top workplace survey is unique because it's not based on a PR spin. It's not what I tell them they do. It's 100% based on the coworkers' reports. And so this year, the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, for the 5th time in the last 9 years, said we were the top workplace in southeastern Wisconsin. And it wasn't industry specific. So our third shifter said we're better to work at than maybe some more cushier jobs that we would typically think of. And they also said in that portion of the state we're the most ethical place to work. Star Tribune over in Minnesota had us at 13, and then in Iowa, we placed 4th this year for large employers. And the people in Iowa said that we had the best strategic direction of any company in the state. Really, thank you for your time tonight. Congratulations on your awards. Congratulations, and really thanks for all that you do in your communities with the populations that you serve in whatever industry that happens to be. Working together, of course, we can all make that difference. As I mentioned right off the bat, if you've got questions, I'll be around the rest of the night. Happy to talk afterwards. That's my direct line when I'm in my office tomorrow morning. And of course, my email there as well. But really, thank you for what you do. Thank you for being a part of your local chambers. We see differences every day because we operate a lot of communities without chambers. And there's definitely a difference when you guys can come together in a community the size of Wisconsin Rapids and have this many people in a room together supporting the local business community. So thank you for what you guys do each and every day. We'll get on with the awards.
Again, thank you. I look forward to bringing up Phil Hartley. He is on our board of directors, and he'll be starting off our programs and awards tonight.
Hey, where's everybody going?
There might be a bar over there. I'm not sure. I heard a rumor.
He saw you're coming out here, Phil.
Kind of disheartening. Come Can you see me in the back? Raise your hand back there. All right.
At the bar.
Well, since Quick come to Lincoln Street, I have to admit that I have a wife and 3 daughters, and we live pretty close to that Quick Trip. And I'm a little heavier, and my wallet's a little lighter. One of the things I heard on the radio, Carl didn't mention, that Quick Trip is widely known as having the best bathrooms. Yeah. So I didn't hear that mentioned, but I've heard that several times. Put that in there next time. So there's so many people and businesses that give everything to make our community a better place, and Lord knows our room is full of them tonight, right? The Community Spirit Award, which is sponsored by Mid-State Technical College, is given to groups or individuals or groups who demonstrate outstanding volunteer spirit and make a significant impact in our community. This year's recipients of this award can proudly state that their contributions have had a life-changing, better yet, a life-saving effect on the people of Central Wisconsin. We are blessed to have this group volunteering and raising funds to save the lives of our families and friends. And as you'll hear, they're putting the fun back in fundraising. They hold events that bring our community together to raise money for the great cause of organ and tissue donation. I know on the back of my license I have one of those little stickers, and if there's anything useful on me the day I go away, they're welcome to have it. I'm guessing my brain will be safe. This year's Community Spirit Award winner is the Central Wisconsin Gift of Life. Accepting the award on their behalf is a living donor herself, Jill Dillon. On behalf of myself and the entire community, thank you all for your involvement and dedication to this cause. Please come forward and accept the Community Spirit Award.
Thank you. Thank you, Phil. And thank you to the Heart of Wisconsin Chamber. We are humbled to receive this award because we know that in this community there are some amazing people doing some wonderful, wonderful things. And our group started about 5 years ago. 7.5 years ago, I donated my kidney. And my recipient, unfortunately, Sarah could not be here tonight, but she and I decided that there was a great need for awareness for organ and tissue donation in this area. And so we started our group, Central Wisconsin Gift of Life, and we are 5 years young and hoping to continue to grow. We do, as you can see in these pictures, an annual scavenger hunt, which the Ridges has just so generously donated the use of their facility the last couple of years. And so this year it'll be on the 4th of May. It's a Saturday, and it runs from 11 to 3 is the hunt, and then we do dinner and raffles and such afterwards. The first year we did it, we had 19 teams. You formed teams of 4 to 6 people. The last year we did it, we had 58 teams. So it's been an amazing growth of an event, something we never expected. Last year we outgrew the West Wing. This year the Gospels have been so generous to give us both rooms, and so we're ready for 75 teams or more if we can get them. So check out our Facebook page, which is Central Wisconsin Gift of Life. For more information. Our registration forms are just about to come out, but as I'm talking to a whole bunch of businesses here, we are always looking for business sponsors. We're always looking for raffle items. We have sponsorships available this year from $250 up to $1,000 in different levels, depending on what you decide to sponsor. So we would love to have some of the sponsors. I quickly want to thank Terry Hamas from Current Technologies, who nominated us for this award. Terry actually joined our committee this year, and she's been just a huge asset to us. I also want to thank some of my group that is here today. Tina Loper and Patty Nellis were able to make it. And then Carol Hay is our University of Wisconsin liaison from the organ and tissue donation, and she came up from Madison here today to join us. So thank you, Carol. We could not do it without the University of Wisconsin organ and tissue donation. They do wonderful, wonderful work. And we actually raise money mostly for them and for the Restoring Hope Transplant House, which is kind of like a respite type house for donors and recipients and for donor families here in Wisconsin. And they are located in Middleton. If you ever get a chance to go visit the transplant house, stop by. They would absolutely love to give you a tour. They are looking to do about a $1 million renovation, and so they are very appreciative of everything that we are able to donate to them. I also want to thank a group of my friends and coworkers who surprised me tonight by showing up to be here in support of us accepting this award. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We are extremely, extremely grateful. I also want to put a plug in for the Twitter account of Quick Trip. It's probably the best Twitter account. If you're not following it, you need to follow it. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
The Chamber Champion Award is sponsored by Wood Trust Bank. The individual recognized goes above and beyond to assist the Heart of Wisconsin Chamber of Commerce with promotion, events, and support. This award winner is a huge staple to the Heart of Wisconsin for many years. Whenever asked to play at events such as Lunch by the River, Rendezvous in the Park, Gather by the Gazebo, Rekindle the Spirit, and Downtown Grand Affair, he jumps to volunteer every time. He has a passion for music and loves to entertain the community with his soulful voice. We appreciate all that he does for the Heart of Wisconsin and the community. His wife Sandy is always by his side and supports him in everything he does as well. Please welcome up our Chamber Champion of the Year, Dade Big Pipes Brody. I like that one.
Yeah, we made it without falling.
I'll tell you folks, this really is quite a surprise for me and Krista. I'll get you back to this. They told me that I was just going to come here tonight and have a good time. That I have. The main reason I do the music the way I do is because it keeps the music alive in central Wisconsin. And there's a lot of musicians out there. There's a lot of kids growing up out there that need to become part of that being a musician. Music is basically just another language. So as they learn Latin, German, anything like that, it's the same thing as mathematics. It's music. So thank you very much. I see trees, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I says to myself, what a wonderful world. And you guys make it that way. Thank you so very much. Oh, cheapers. Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Heather Sayers. I am the membership director here at the Heart of Wisconsin Chamber of Commerce. This year's Ambassador of the Year award is sponsored by Mariani Packaging Company. This year's recipient I've had the great privilege of knowing for a very, very long time and have started to work with this person very, very early on in her career. This person has a personality that definitely matches their energy. Being an Ambassador of the Year does mean that you have to step up above and beyond something that is normal. So it's like attending all of the ribbon cuttings, the business after hours, all of our events, and just being there and saying what the color of the day is. So, I know this is very quick, and I'm sure that she now knows who she is. So, Carrie has been above and beyond everything that she has done. She's an entrepreneur over at the Coldwell Bankers, Seaward Realtors. She takes care of her family, friends, parents, and cooks for the elderly throughout the community. She is fun, energetic, and full of life, and amazing to be around. So I am extremely proud to announce that Carrie Nicolai is our Ambassador of the Year.
Well, Heather just informed me I have 3 minutes. And I can talk pretty quickly in 3 minutes. But first of all, I'd like to thank all the ambassadors, the chamber, and especially my company that I work for, Coldwell Bankers Seaward. When I started a few years ago, JR encouraged us to go and get involved in the community. And it was just perfect. I've known Heather since, third grade? Third grade. So it was a good fit very early on. And the one thing that I really enjoy doing is going out and doing our business visits to meet every single one of you to hear about what your businesses bring to this community. So that way I can turn around and tell all the families who are moving in, who are choosing which way they want to go, whether it be to Port, to Nakusa, to Plover, but being able to tell them what Rapids has to offer them in all of the local businesses that we have here. So that's always such a great job to be able to go do and to help spread your guys' business, to make Rapids a very strong community. So thank you all, and I think Heather, my 3 minutes up.
You're gonna make me cry sometime.
I know. I got the right color of the day. It was blue. It was blue. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce the Shining Star Award this year, sponsored by the Encourage Foundation. The Shining Star recognizes a service organization or public institution, their dedication to community service, leadership, innovative programs and services to adapt to the changing community needs. I'd like to share with you now the mission statement of the Benevolent and Protective Order of the Elks. To inculcate the principles of charity, justice, brotherly love, and fidelity, to recognize a belief in God, to promote the welfare and enhance the happiness of its members, to quicken the spirit of American patriotism, to cultivate good fellowship, to perpetuate itself as a fraternal organization, and to provide for its government. The Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks of the United States of America will serve the people and communities through benevolent programs demonstrating that Elks care and Elks share. The Elks' allegiance to their mission statement is reflected in their dedication to our veterans. The Wisconsin Rapids Elks Lodge has honored over 200 veterans with their military Monday nights at the Rafters. The Elks purchase a rafter ticket, hot dog, drink, and a hat for any veteran who attends the Monday night rafter game. They support the Never Forgotten Honor Flight, as well as the American Heroes Cafe. It is reflected in their support of our youth and their future through the Elks National Foundation scholarships, the annual Hoop Shoot, Practice Hard, Play Hard, Succeed, and their drug awareness programs. It is reflected in their charity to our community. I would like to highlight the Christmas Basket program that provides 50 area families with a one-week supply of groceries and toys for the children. The Infant Center at the Southwood County Emergency Food Pantry that the Elks started and financed for families unable to afford baby essentials. And their annual Lenten Fish Fry, run and fueled by volunteers. 100% of the revenue generated goes to local charities. This year's Shining Star is the Wisconsin Rapids Elks Lodge number 693. A big hand for current Exalted Ruler, Joel Llewellyn, and incoming Exalted Ruler, Tina Lamb.
Thank you very much. The Elks are very honored to have this award. Her father, Harvey, was probably one of the best Elks really in the nation. I never got to meet him. I joined after he passed, but the stories I hear of your dad was, he was a very good guy. She touched on some things that the Elks do. The Elks are the second largest scholarship award givers in America, behind the federal government. Locally in our district, we gave last year about $20,000 in scholarships to students in Wisconsin Rapids, Port, Nakusa, Necedah, and Pittsville. So our district for our lodge goes in that area. And we're proud to do those things. We also, Dr. Tina Lamb takes care of the veteran services for our organization, and the Military Mondays really took off last year, and we plan on doing that again this year. We want to expand on that by raising some more funds to get not only the veteran a ticket for the Raptors game, but also their spouse or family member so they can enjoy the game also. The infant center that we do, we donate roughly $2,500 every year to the infant center for those parents that cannot afford like the simple things, Desitin or diapers, things like that, wet wipes, just so they can have a emergency backup to get those services that they may need. To be an elk, all you gotta do is be 21 years old, believe in God, and really, just try to help out. We don't ask you to help out every week. We ask you to pick one project a year to help out with, and really put your heart and soul in the project if you do help out. The last couple of years we've been growing. I think when I joined the Elks, we had 107 members. And now we're up to about 151 members. So we're growing every year. Some organizations are going down, some of the service organizations, but we're really trying to do membership drives. If you do have a party inside the Elks, just a reminder that all the bar revenue and all the rental revenue for the lodge, for banquet hall, gets reinvested back into the community. We're a nonprofit group, and the money that you spend at the bar or for the hall rental goes back for the scholarship programs and for the infant center and things like that. So again, we thank you very much for this award. We never expected this. There's a bunch of people, I guess, white collar, blue collar. We're a mixture of good people, and we appreciate this. I ask anyone who's an ELK member, could you please stand up? Because there are quite a few people scattered out. So. Award, and it's a very good program. Here we go. Yep.
Good evening, everyone. My name is, excuse me. So used to it having on the dais here. Good evening, everyone. My name is Alex Hewitt. I'm an attorney with Nash Law Group here in Wisconsin Rapids and a member of the Heart of Wisconsin board. Tonight, it's an honor and a privilege for me to introduce to you the recipient of the Citizen of the Year Award. The Citizen of the Year Award recognizes someone whose work, community service, and involvement demonstrate what it means to be a good citizen. I met tonight's nominee about 4 years ago at a community event. I was new in town, didn't know too many people. I was trying to get involved in the community. I hoped it would work out here in Rapids. I still apprehensive, wanted to make sure that this was a good place to start a life. And I was asking myself, is this really the place for me? But since that conversation with tonight's award winner at that event, I realized something. If there are people like tonight's recipient doing such great things here in town and in this region, then I want to be a part of that place. I want to be a part of that vision, that dream, and that project. Not only here in Wisconsin Rapids, but in this region and also the state as well. 4 years later, I'm not just thankful for ending up here in Wisconsin Rapids, but also for crossing paths with tonight's recipient early in that process. His commitment to community service, entrepreneurship, and business development in central Wisconsin has been nothing short of inspiring. He started a tech company at the age of 15 in Wisconsin Rapids, studied political science at UWSP, and instead of leaving the area, he applied his knowledge, his training, and his talent here at home, becoming Wisconsin Rapids' youngest mayor, and now he's just entered his 4th term as our mayor. His accomplishments in office are too many to list. The committees that he served on are too many to list. His contributions to this committee are just too expansive to go over tonight. We just wouldn't have enough time. I could mention his working with stakeholders to make revitalization of the downtown a reality, airport expansion, actively courting new businesses to town, the YMCA and Boys and Girls Club success, Mayor's Youth Council, promoting transparency in our local government as well, the splash pad. The list goes on. But it's also his work behind the scenes every day that I believe deserves recognition. Working as a public servant can be, as Zach knows, a thankless job. Work that may not make the headlines can consist of board meetings. It can consist of meetings with your constituents. On any given day, it's a breakneck pace, and somewhere in there, apparently he finds time to sleep. And as a testament to the fact that all politics is local, it can be a job in which one is bombarded with many viewpoints and asked to pick sides. With all this pressure, it can be very easy for a public servant to withdraw, rubber stamp, to hand that job off to others and not make a difference. But instead, Zach doesn't do that. He leads with conviction. He goes the extra mile to build coalitions, to build consensus as well, and find new and creative ways for community groups to come together to make this place a better community to live, work, and raise a family and thrive. With all that he has accomplished in just the last few years, I'm so excited to see what he will accomplish in the future for this city, this region, and the state of Wisconsin. So please join me in congratulating Mayor Zach Bruing as the 2019 Heart of Wisconsin City Manager.
Well, for those of you, I guess, that maybe knew about this, not often do you get caught flat-footed in a position like this. You know a little bit about a lot of things in this position, so to either that or the person that was the award recipient tonight couldn't make it, I'm not sure. But thank you. This position, you don't sign up to do these positions, and those of you that are in service or have served don't do these types of positions for any sort of recognition or accolade. And I think, I was coached by some former mayors and some current mayors that have said you have to savor the moment. When you do get appreciated for the time that you put into this, there certainly are the highs, and so thank you. I'm very grateful. There are the lows and there are the times where, and you have probably more lows than you have highs. There are the meetings, the night meetings. I can remember sitting in rezoning requests from none but Quick Trip in the room for hours with residents, listening to residents expressing their concerns about business development in their neighborhood, but walking away with an appreciation that those folks care about the community, they care about the neighborhood, and they care about their friends in that neighborhood. And I'll tell you, gosh, I didn't have a lot to prepare. I didn't prepare, obviously, tonight, but when I think about my time in office and what motivates me as a person, when I talk to you in particular, it really is around 3 P's. Finding my passion, having a purpose, and finding pleasure within those pieces. And I think finding my passion has always been something that has been drilled into me from my parents, who I see my mom here and I see my dad here. I caught a glimpse of him. I was kind of wondering, normally when they're at these things, they're coming. I know mom was going to be here, but I figured for other reasons than this. But really drilled into me to really find that passion and to make sure that I was always doing something that I enjoyed doing. And I continue to tell youth in particular that I talk to you about that. Purpose. And I think all of us go about our lives differently, and I think to the extent that we all live in a place like this that has so much potential, finding my purpose in my hometown, when people say, well, you're young, you can go live anywhere, you can do anything, but finding a purpose was actually quite simple. And 7 years ago I was the kid, and the young mayor that had a lot of ambition, and I like to believe still has a lot of ambition and energy, but really didn't know a lot about governing, didn't know a lot about what it could take in a community like this, who has been challenged and with its confidence and trying to overcome its obstacles, many of which I'll say are self-imposed obstacles. Like our confidence, I believe so much can be said about the people in this room who are dedicated to making this place a better place. And you're all very deserving of this award and this recognition. And finally, finding pleasure in all of that, right? In all of those night meetings, those really tough decisions, breaking a few ties in the city council occasionally, not understanding what city council members are thinking when they vote a certain way. But obviously, they're all doing a thankless job in serving our people. And I think that the neatest bit of pleasure for me is the fact that government is about our people, right? In a very divisive, hyper-partisan world, when I go about putting together my budget in a year, it's not about the Republican or Democrat way of filling a pothole or reconstructing a road or putting in a bike path. It's about what makes a difference in the lives of people in this community. And that someday, I'm 22nd mayor of this fine city, and 21 before me all had the foresight and the vision to do the things that they did. And someday, 22 from me will look back at some of those things that we did and we believe were the right things. And I often govern with a long view, and I think the things that give me pleasure are the intangibles, right? And when a parent in my Mayor's Youth Council program comes up to me after their parent or their student has graduated high school and says, "You have inspired that kid to go into public service," when they're maybe introverted or never thought that they would enter a profession or a career serving people in a very challenged way. The other thing I think that I certainly find pleasure in is working with youth in that when I go from maybe some tough meetings, some dry, boring administrative conversations, no disrespect to my staff and the city staff there in the room, I certainly want to thank them for everything that they do. But when I go to my Mayor's Youth Council program and those 20 high school kids have as much passion and as much energy and as much optimism or more than I have for this city, I know that this community is going to be in a great place in its future. So thank you all for everything you do in the community. And thank you to my parents, my siblings. Sorry for my tardiness when I show up, or I'm stressed out or overtired at family gatherings and all those sorts of things. But thank you for giving me the space to do what I do for this fine city. And it takes a team. And I know, thank my partner and everybody else that gives me support to be able to do this on a daily basis. I couldn't do it without them. And in closing, I guess, there's a sign I walk into my office every day that I have on my desk that says, one person can make a difference and everyone should try. And I think about that every day when I walk into my office, because while I don't necessarily count down how many council meetings I have remaining in my term, I have 13, by the way. I do think about that clock and that someday I will not be the mayor anymore. And it may be after the next term. I don't know when that's going to be, by the way. But it really reminds me that everything that we do on an incremental basis can make a difference, and it's either a positive difference or a negative difference. So thank you all again for everything that you do in this community. It is a team sport. Thank you to my colleagues at the city, all who show up every day trying to make a difference, don't always realizing that the things that they do make a difference. They add up. And again, thank you. I'm greatly, deeply honored and grateful for the recognition tonight. I know there's at least 2 mayors on that Citizen of the Year. I've looked at it every year. I've come to this thing and never thought I'd be one of those individuals, but certainly appreciative to the Chamber and everything you do. Thank you.
Taylor. And this is for Entrepreneur of the Year Award, and it's always a fun one. So some of the criteria: initiated economic growth. This particular outfit both did it by acquisition and superior customer service. Do a lot of supporting nonprofits and other charity events in the area, ODC, Humane Society, to name a couple. And they've used some interesting approaches to adapt to the marketplace. And well, let's just say their product is decorated for the occasion. You'll see. And well, they have this Instagram, come potty with us. We're getting closer? Okay. So their logo, Davy Crockett, never needed any of this, but we do. And so this year, I'd like to present the Entrepreneur of the Year is Crockett Septic owners, Lori Leggett and George Van Stedham. Explain that decorating thing.
Thank you.
I'm not the public speaker and the talker is actually sitting back at the table, so we'll see how this goes. But I guess the decorations that he was talking about is Lori likes to personalize like the graduations and weddings and stuff like that. She, you know, if you call us for a graduation and we ask what school they're graduating, right, because we're going to do something geared towards that school, and a little bit of a decoration on the inside or outside of the unit. But we were quite caught off guard when we were approached or told that we were even considered, let alone nominated for the, or won the award. You know, it's kind of been a little bit of a strange last 2 months. We were actually approached by a couple of industry magazines that are going to do articles on us too, so must be doing something okay, I guess. I guess back in 2015, you know, the chamber, you know, kind of really supported us in our endeavors to grow. They gave us an RLF loan back then to have an acquisition of a current portable toilet company, which put us into that group, you know. So their support, the support of our employees, we got 5 full-time employees, 1 part-time employee, and then some seasonal employees that help, you know, tremendously. I mean, this is a 7-day-a-week, tons of hours, tons of hours a day. So hot, cold, doesn't matter, it keeps going. So, you know, we thank the office girls for answering that phone that rings all day. You know, we thank our customers for calling us again and again, every time, you know, whether it be an issue or just standard maintenance. We really appreciate it. You know, kind of a little bit of the growth, you know, as part of this is we started out in 2013, 1 small septic truck. Right now we're 2 septic trucks, 7 portable toilet trucks, about 500 portable toilets, you know, which include flushables and hand wash stations and handicaps and everything that we didn't know really existed before we looked into doing it. You know, we really appreciate, you know, seeing different things, you know, like you think about how your community grows. We get to see that from a different side. At, you know, like Sand Valley, we had a toilet out there when they very first started. It was a big sand dune. There's nothing there to now what it is now. Or the Rapids Mall is getting transferred into the YMCA and Boys and Girls Club. It's just a big transformation, you know, and stuff that people don't think of, like harvest stuff. You know, the fall of the year is really crazy for us too. So, you know, it's really fun to watch our community grow, watch the different events that you might not go to every time, but it's really pretty rewarding and fun to watch. So, thank you for the award.
I have the pleasure of introducing the Innovative Business of the Year, and this award tonight is sponsored by Burco Worldwide. To be awarded this award or to qualify, you must have invested in new processes, demonstrated a commitment to new products or services, created an organizational culture of innovation, been in existence for 3 or more years, and the business must be a member of the Heart of Wisconsin Chamber of Commerce. This year's Innovative Business of the Year goes to Verso Corporation. And if I might have David Sands and Don Guay join me at the stage, I'd appreciate that. Phil, who will join us, Phil Hartley. So an innovative business is continually creating more effective processes, products, and ideas. Innovative businesses find ways to remain relevant to their customers. And to remain relevant to their customers, Verso has expanded their product line. Did you know that in addition to producing specialty paper, they are known for, they also produce products such as wine boxes, book covers, bicycle playing cards, and packaging labels for Amazon. So when you are sipping on wine while playing cards, both of which you ordered from Amazon, believe it or not, you have helped support our local economy. So thank you, gentlemen. And please come up to accept the award.
So I'm proud to be in the communications. Everybody in the back still back there? Yeah, look at that. Big group. We're pleased to be Verso's communications manager for Wisconsin. Accepting the award in part for David. He had got called away earlier today, couldn't make it tonight. He wanted to send his regrets. He's an amazing mill manager. We're proud to have him. He and his wonderful wife, Kara, Sweet Tea Clothing, little plug right there, in town, have moved to our community just a few years ago, and it's been a real win for our community. David asked me to tell you that because he couldn't come, he was sending a taller, darker, younger, and more handsome Verso representative to give a little speech. I know you're thinking it's me, but it's not. It's our operations manager, John Gway.
It is my pleasure to accept this award on behalf of our team. I got to tell you, it's a team environment. I really enjoyed the presentation on Quick Trip. It is all about the people. So that's our mill. It's 2 miles long, it's 1,000 acres, there are 940 of us at that mill. But you probably don't realize last year we hired 112 people. That's how many people we had to hire last year, and it's just turnover, retirements. We are a $450 million a year business sitting in Wisconsin Rapids. So, but that doesn't guarantee our success. So we've got to be innovative. We've got a great group of people. They work their tails off. We have 5 unions that work in our mill. I love them all. They are great people. We work really well together to be successful. But that doesn't mean we're going to win. We have to be innovative. So we're retooling. And I know Nine Dragons got some awesome headlines and they're doing super cool things for beer, and I am really pumped for that group of people. But we have been quietly retooling our mill over the past 4 years since Verso took us over. And in this year, we are going to spend a whopping $42 million on our mill in the month of June, and we're going to retool again. So we are significantly enhancing our product portfolio, and we're going to have over 1,500 contractors coming in per day to our mill this summer. So when the roads are congested, I'm sorry, but they're here to do some great things for our team. And everything we're doing is getting us set up so we don't have to shut down every year. That hurts. We want to run 24/7, 365, and we want to shut down less often. And oh, by the way, last year we suffered through some power outages, and we're going to fix the grid because we own that too with part of Quebco. So we're going to fix that this summer. But here's some cool things. So we had to retool. We also got to get better. So over the past 4 years, we have worked with Focused Energy, fantastic program, leveraging our resources, and we have received over $1 million in Focused Energy funding. Now, we don't let that go to waste because what we have done with that money is we have reduced our energy footprint by over 9,800 houses worth of heating energy and over 2,100 houses of electricity that are just gone, that we no longer use, and yet we still make more tons today than we did in the past. So that we are leveraging our people to be innovative so that we can thrive in this competitive market that we're in, and we are going to continue to thrive and win and continue to reinvest. And part of that is us changing. And Nan mentioned some of the things, but book covers and books, that's what we've always done. Greeting cards. Buy lots of greeting cards. We make most of them. We do a lot of local community. We sponsor paper. Phil does a great job of getting our paper out there. Wine boxes. And those of you who know me pretty well, I kind of like wine.
Sunset Winery.
My wife and I own the winery in Stevens Point, Sunset Winery. And bicycle card playing cards, the PlayStation box, that's kind of a cool one. And last but not least, Aaron Rodgers. If you see a big old stand in a grocery store or a market store, that's probably our paper that's attached to the phone that's supporting that person up. So look, really appreciate the award. We've got a fantastic team. I definitely accept this on behalf of our whole team, and we're going to just have a great time communicating this awesome award to our entire team. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is John Sonnenberg. I'm the Superintendent of Highways and Public Works for the town of Rome, and I am a member of the Board of Directors for the Heart of Wisconsin Chamber of Commerce. Tonight, it is my privilege to introduce the recipient of the Regional Economic Impact of the Year Award. This award is sponsored by the Wisconsin Rapids Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. Criteria for winning this award is as follows. The organization must show significant regional growth and expansion of their business or organization. They must show community service and leadership. They must use innovative efforts to adapt to the marketplace change. Lastly, the winner must be a Heart of Wisconsin Chamber of Commerce member. The winner of this award has achieved all of this in a very big way. I am proud to introduce Jeremy Sickler, Airport Manager for Alexander Field, Southwood County Airport, this year's recipient of the Regional Economic Impact of the Year Award.
But before you, oops, better get the mic. Before you get to see Jeremy behind me, he's much younger and he fishes a lot better than I do, from what I understand. First off, the Airport Commission wants to express our appreciation to the Heart of Wisconsin Chamber for the recognition and the partnership of all those players, many of you are here, that were instrumental in our most recent successes. I'd like to ask Jeremy to give us a little background on where we were, where we are now, and where we are going.
Thank you, Ryan, and thanks to everybody. Thank you, Chamber of Commerce. I get a chance to talk about the airport a lot, and one thing I realize, I spend a lot of my time talking about tactile and visible and quantifiable things at the airport, and one thing a topic that I really don't talk about enough, and I think it's a very important topic, is the role that the community has played in the airport's success, and vice versa, the airport's role in the community. And just one particular story I'd like to share is, I was rather green about a year into my tenure here, and I was putting together a funding request that was going to go through our local elected representation down to Madison, and requested letters of support from, I think, about 18 local entities, businesses, influential community leaders, things of that nature, and wondering what my response rate was going to be, especially considering I was relatively new here, hardly even knew any of the people that I was asking for these letters from. Well, within a week, I think it was, certainly within a week, I had 12 of those letters in my hand. We had already certainly exceeded my expectations, and at the end of it, I got all but one of those responses back, and the one non-responder is here tonight, so if those of you know who he is, don't be afraid to ridicule him. But so there again, just the community's role in the airport development and the airport success has been really impressive. And over the time that I've been here, I've watched this community and its appreciation of the airport and its support for the airport has changed quite a bit. You know, it was a relatively dormant airport when I got here, and there hadn't been a lot of real excitement about the airport in a long time. Over 3 or 4 years now, it's been a dramatic change, and my job has gotten a lot easier as a result, and it's been a real pleasure being part of that. So, again, thanks to you, those in the community who have supported the airport, and certainly making my job better and a far more enjoyable and honorable experience. I wanted to make sure I mentioned the Airport Commission, because this change has also changed the commission a lot. You know, their support of me and what I do out there has been critical. And if we took a snapshot of the airport 4 years ago, and then took a snapshot of what the airport is now, they're really two different airports from many perspectives. And that commission has been involved in and really driven a lot of that change. So again, I wanted to make sure that the commission is recognized for that. And one last thing I wanted to share is that the community obviously recognizes what's going on at the airport. And there's a lot of good things going on at the airport, a lot of success, a lot of support, federal, state, and local support, and it's noticed and noteworthy outside the community among my colleagues, airport management colleagues, and airport management associations, our engineering firms around the state, and various other entities. They all comment to me many times about how they recognize the successes that we're having here and how great that is for us, because this is something that just doesn't happen very often, and we are truly blessed to have this, what we have here, and it's been an honor being a part of it. So I'm going to hand it back to Arnie one more time. Thank you guys very much for the award.
Thank you, Jeremy. In closing, the airport is looking for ways to not only serve business and our users, but also to serve the community that owns and operates the airport. In fact, we are hosting airports from around the state for an airport land use and operations seminar this fall at Hotel Meade. We're also hosting open houses, upcoming drone seminars, and we're offering a place for people to watch the planes come and go. On behalf of the 4 owning communities, Wisconsin Rapids, Port Edwards, Tecumseh, and Grand Rapids, we thank you for the recognition and support of the airport. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. This is the last award of the evening. That's all I'm going to get is just a little chuckle. Come on! If we were at Winter Field right now, I would say let's do a 7th inning stretch. Okay, so here we go. Hi, I'm Joe Mikowski of Bauer & Fine Business Technologies, and I have the pleasure this evening to announce the Business of the Year Award. This award is sponsored by Carenzo North America. The award is given to a Heart of Wisconsin Chamber of Commerce member, their economic impact on the community, business growth, dedication to customer service, community service, and leadership, innovations to adapt to marketplace change, and they have to be a Heart of Wisconsin member in business for at least 3 years. Now, because tonight is like kind of zipping by quickly, I want to take you back to 1987. Yeah, that's when Merlin Jeffrey started working at Quality Foods as a part-time employee. Believe it or not, he worked his way up to being the store manager by 1999, and then went on to purchase the Wisconsin Rapids stores in 2014 and 15. Now, the stores have always focused on providing outstanding customer service and being very involved in our community, including sponsoring those weekend broad fries that we all go to, which helps support the nonprofits. When a competitor, this is not anyone present that I know of tonight, when a competitor stopped accepting the Raider, Royal, and Ice Gate cards, they stepped up to provide the discounts. Quality Foods hometown markets are well known for their fresh cut meats, brats and sausages, and bakery, but did you know that they expanded their product lines to offer more gluten-free foods, Wisconsin-made foods, cheeses, and wines? And here's the best part, over 100 craft beers. Oh yeah. Okay. They use trans fat oils in their delis for their fried chicken and other deli items. And they now are offering more grab-and-go deli options in smaller 2 or 3 bun packages. And they still have that car-to-car service that meets the seniors, singles, and busy families and fulfill their shopping preferences. And new energy-efficient coolers were also installed too in the last couple of years. Please join me in congratulating Merlin Jeffries and Quality Foods Hometown Markets as this year's Business of the Year.
I would like to thank the Heart of Wisconsin Chamber of Commerce and Corenzo North America for sponsoring this very humbling award. This would not be possible without my 110 dedicated employees and our loyal customers. I did, at table 6, I do have some of the crazier employees here. The community response since I bought the stores has been overwhelming and greatly appreciated. Wisconsin Rapids is a great community. As I took a leap of faith 5 years ago on buying the 2 stores and investing in our city, I feel we need to continue to move forward. And I see the progress we're making around town. We need to support our local businesses by patronizing them and encouraging others to make that leap of faith like I did. And remember, always to shop local. Lastly, I would just like to acknowledge my parents, Charles and Elaine Jeffrey, who passed away before I was able to purchase the stores. I hope that I've made them proud. Thank you again.
Seriously, I feel like I'm just a dwarf here.
Thank you.
Today has offered us the opportunity to pay tribute to the invaluable contributions that each person and business has provided to this community. We thank each award winner for being a leader in growth and development in the area. The Heart of Wisconsin Chamber of Commerce mission is to empower, network, and promote the people, businesses, and resources in the area. 2019 is a year of innovation and advocacy within our organization. We will continue to support and drive economic development and quality of life in the community. Thank you to our members and our community partners for believing in our mission and supporting those efforts. We would like to thank our gold sponsors, Crockett Septic, M3 Insurance, Nakusa Court, Next Home Partners, Paper City Savings, Rapids Rehab, and Transhope Consulting. We'd also like to thank all the donations for the raffle prizes, which in your program, there's an insert with all of those listed. We'd also like to thank the dinner sponsors for this evening, Aspirus, Current Technologies, Domtar, Enbridge, Ho-Chunk Gaming, Nakusa, Heartland Farms, Northwind Renewable Energy, Solaris, Verso, and the Wysocki family of companies. At this time, for the last time, I'd like to have Nan come up.
And I would like to invite Heather Gigi up to the stage with me.
So thank you very much. It's been my honor and privilege to serve on the board of directors for the past 6 years and this year as the chairman. As we close the 71st annual meeting of the board's program, I would like to take the opportunity to pass this gavel, which I have decorated so nicely, to the incoming chairman of the board, Heather Gigi. I would like to tell her she has big shoes to fill, but she doesn't because I have very small feet. And I know that she is going to do a terrific job. She has been a great partner to me this year as we have worked through the year, and I know that she will be a wonderful leader of the chamber.
Also have one other sponsor this evening, Cushel & Cushel LLC. Thank you very much. Nan, thank you. To the Take these glasses off. It's time for bifocals. To the outgoing board members, thank you for your dedication, your vision, and your embodiment of our mission statement. It has personally been an honor and my pleasure to serve alongside you. To the staff of the Heart of Wisconsin Chamber of Commerce, thank you for your hard work, your tireless belief in what we do here, and the care that you take to enrich and empower our members. There is no one that I would rather have beside me as we enter into a time of rapid evolution and growth in central Wisconsin. To you, our members and community leaders, please allow me to express my gratitude and appreciation for your time this evening, your commitment to the Heart of Wisconsin Chamber of Commerce, and for your shared belief in the betterment of our community that we recognize this evening. Many of you have heard me say over the years that this area, Central Wisconsin, Wisconsin Rapids, we have got greatness in our bones, and we have finally found our way, and it is forward. So with that, meeting adjourned.